Welcome back to the deep dive. We're here to cut through the noise and, well, get straight to the insights.
That's the plan.
Today, we're plunging into something huge, something that's fundamentally reshaping how we all work, the digital workplace transformation service market.
A massive topic.
It is. And our mission today is to unpack the global growth trends, get into the regional specifics. We're using our key source, Digital Workplace Transformation Service Market, Global Growth Trends.
A very detailed source.
So let's kick off with the big picture, those top line numbers. What's the most striking thing about this market's overall growth?
Well, what's truly fascinating here, I think, beyond just the raw figures, is what these numbers actually signal. Our source shows that back in 2021, this global market generated just over $23 billion.
Okay, 23 billion seems like a lot, but
Right, but here's the kicker. It's projected to more than double to $51 billion by 2025.
wow.
And then, get this, surge to a remarkable $247 billion by 2033.
247 billion.
Exactly. We're talking about a compound annual growth rate of almost 21.8%. Consistently.
So this isn't just steady growth.
No. This kind of aggressive growth, doubling fast, the nearly quintupling again, it really points to what you might call a growth supercycle.
Hmm.
And it looks set to continue well into the next decade.
A super cycle, nearly $250 billion. That's a crucial distinction. So for you listening, this isn't just about getting some new software, is it?
Not at all.
What does this kind of exponential transformation truly mean for the future of work? How we actually experience it day to day.
Exactly. That's the key point. For you, the listener, this means the very fabric of how you experience work is changing. We're talking where you work, the tools you use, even the skills you need. It's all being fundamentally redesigned
At speed.
at an unprecedented pace. Yeah. This isn't just about adopting new tech. It's the whole ecosystem. Think cloud integration, AI creeping into workflows, better collaboration tools, and critically, the upskilling needed to handle it all. It's a rapid global digitization, a fundamental rethinking of the traditional workspace.
Okay, that broader context really frames the sheer scale of this. So let's break it down. If we look beyond that global aggregate figure, how is this incredible transformation unfolding region by region? Let's start with North America. What's the story there?
Okay, North America. Well, it already holds a very strong position, a definite market leader. Our source indicates its revenue climbed from just over $9 billion in 2021
Okay.
to a projected $95.5 billion by 2033. That's sustaining a robust annual growth rate of over 21.3%.
Still growing fast then, even from a high base.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The United States naturally accounts for the lion's share of that, jumping
Okay.
from around $7.6 billion to over $76 billion
76 billion just in the US.
just in the U.S. But it's not only the U.S. Canada is projected to grow strongly, too, from about $1.2 billion to over $13 billion.
Yeah.
And Mexico shows really impressive momentum as well, moving from about $500 million up to nearly $5.6 billion.
So across the board in North America.
Yes. It clearly indicates, mature but still rapidly expanding digital adoption right across the continent.
Okay. From North America's established leadership, let's turn our gaze across the Atlantic to Europe. It seems like a continent with diverse but still powerful digital shifts happening. What are the key takeaways there?
Europe's definitely dynamic. Its market posted nearly $6.7 billion back in 2021, and it's forecasted to hit almost $68.5 billion by 2033. So also growing at an impressive clip, around 21.3% annually. Very similar to North America overall.
Interesting. And within Europe.
Well, Germany's market is set to grow from about $1.17 billion to over $11 billion. France, though, showing even faster growth.
Yeah.
Projected to expand from $944 million to over $10.5 billion. That's a CAGR over 22.5%.
Faster than Germany, then.
A bit faster, yeah.
Yeah.
Italy also demonstrates solid expansion, moving from $537 million up to $5.8 billion. But what's particularly compelling, I think, is the growth in the rest of Europe segment.
Oh, yeah.
It's surging from just over $1.2 billion in 2021 to over $14.4 billion by 2033. That's nearly a 23% annual growth rate.
Yeah.
Exceptional, really.
Wow, so significant acceleration outside the biggest economies, too.
Exactly. It's a really dynamic picture right across the continent, accelerating adoption.
Okay, those are significant jumps all across Europe. Now let's look east. Asia Pacific, always a fascinating landscape. How's that region contributing to this digital workplace supercycle?
Asia Pacific is, well, it's experiencing one of the most explosive growth trajectories globally. Just
Re-
incredible numbers here.
Really?
Yeah. Our source shows it's soaring from $4.3 billion in 2021 to an astounding $51.4 billion by 2033. That's driven by a 23.2% annual growth rate, higher than North America or Europe overall.
Higher growth rate. Okay. Who's leading the charge there?
China, unsurprisingly perhaps, is expanding from $1.34 billion to $15 billion. Japan's following a similar path from about $1 billion to over $11.3 billion. But India deserves a special mention here. It has a remarkable 24.4% annual growth rate projected. It's expected to go from $669 million to nearly $8.9 billion.
Almost 9 billion from under 700 million. Why such strong growth in India?
Well, it's not just general digitization. India has this vast talent pool, plus government initiatives like Digital India are really pushing things. They're actively innovating, becoming a major force.
I see.
And get this, Singapore posts the highest annual growth rate of all countries, mentioned nearly 25%.
25%?
Yep, expanding from 152 million to over $2 billion. It's a smaller base, but that rate is incredible. This data truly shows digital transformation becoming like a pan-regional mandate over there.
That growth out of Asia Pacific is, well, it's stunning. Especially
Uh-huh.
India and Singapore. All right, let's shift focus again. South America, what's driving the market there?
So in South America, the market jumped from just over $1.6 billion in 2021 to an expected $18.8 billion by 2033. That's also a very high growth rate, nearly 23% annually.
Matching the rest of Europe's rate.
Pretty much, yeah. Brazil stands out as a clear leader there. Yeah. Moving from $530 million to over $6 billion.
Okay, Brazil's the giant.
It is. But it's not just Brazil. Argentina and Colombia are both hovering around a 23.8% annual growth rate.
Even higher then.
Slightly higher, yes, which indicates, increasing digital workplace maturity and adoption across the wider region. It's a significant sign of broader economic and tech development.
Okay. And moving north geographically, but maybe smaller numbers overall the Middle East. How are they adopting these services?
The Middle East is set to grow from $836 million in 2021 to nearly $7.7 billion by 2033. That's a solid 20% annual growth rate. Slightly lower than other regions, but still very strong.
And who's leading there?
Saudi Arabia, the UAE, Qatar, they're really leading the way in digitization. It's often driven by strategic visions, economic diversification, modernization efforts.
Right.
The UAE, for instance, is notably expanding from just $78 million up to $790 million, growing at an impressive 21.4% annually.
So that highlights a strong commitment.
Definitely. A strong commitment to digital transformation across various sectors there.
Okay, and finally, let's look at Africa. Our source highlights it as being in the midst of a, quote, digital renaissance. That sounds exciting. What's the outlook?
Africa is indeed experiencing tremendous momentum. It's really interesting. From $488 million in 2021, this market is projected to more than double by 2025.
Doubling quickly.
Yeah, and then climb to almost $5.5 billion by 2033. That's achieving an impressive 21.8% annual growth rate, matching the global average.
Matching the global average. Okay, key players.
Nigeria and South Africa are clearly major players. Each is expecting to exceed $1 billion by 2033. But what's particularly exciting, again, is the dynamism in the rest of Africa segment.
Similar to Europe.
Exactly. Growing from $205 million to nearly $2.4 billion. That's a strong 22.3% annual growth rate. And this signifies not just adoption, but often leapfrogging.
Leapfrogging.
Yes, skipping over older traditional infrastructure perhaps and going directly into newer digital solutions. It's a different kind of transformation pathway.
Fascinating. So, okay, we've charted these remarkable numbers across every continent. The obvious question hangs in the air. What forces are truly powering this unprecedented transformation? What's fueling this incredible growth?
Right. And this is where the numbers really come to life, isn't it? Because these aren't just random growth figures. They reflect fundamental shifts in how businesses, how they operate globally. Our source points to several key drivers behind this.
Exactly. Things we hear about all the time. But the scale here is immense. We're talking pervasive hybrid work trends.
Absolutely central.
The relentless push towards cloud-first strategies.
Can't escape that one.
The increasing adoption of AI in workflows.
Everywhere now.
The explosion of collaboration platforms.
Yeah.
And, maybe tying it all together, the ever-critical need for digital upskilling. Let's maybe break those down a bit.
Sure.
Because they're directly shaping the workplace for everyone listening.
Absolutely. Let's take hybrid work trends first. I mean, it's no longer niche, is it?
Definitely not.
It's a core strategy for so many organizations now.
Mm-hmm.
And that creates massive demand for flexible, secure access to tools, to data, whether you're at home, in the office, or, somewhere else entirely.
Right. Which leads directly to the cloud piece.
Exactly. This naturally fuels that cloud-first push,
Mm.
moving everything to scalable online environments that can actually support this distributed workforce.
Makes sense. If you're not all in the same building, you need seamless access from anywhere.
Okay, and then there's AI. Feels like it's permeating everything. How's that playing a role here?
Well, AI is rapidly being integrated into workflows. Think automation, optimizing tasks, everything from customer service chatbots, which we all encounter,
Oh, yeah.
to, say, predictive analytics and project management. It enhances efficiency, it personalizes the digital experience, and hand in hand with that, you have the explosion of collaboration platforms.
Like Teams, Slack. Exactly. Tools like Microsoft Teams or Slack. They aren't just for chat anymore, are they? They're becoming these central hubs. For all team interactions, document sharing, even project management flows through them now.
True. They're indispensable for many. And all these powerful new tools, these new ways of working, they require something crucial from the people using them, don't they?
Indeed, they do. That's the final piece, really. All of this, crucially, necessitates a relentless focus on digital upskilling for employees.
You can't just drop the tech in.
Precisely. Because new tools require new skills. And organizations are realizing that investing in their people's capabilities is just as vital as investing in the technology itself. So these drivers, hybrid, cloud, AI, collaboration, upskilling, they are just abstract concepts. They are the direct engines behind these massive market figures we've been discussing. They're actively shaping your work environment right now, as we speak.
So pulling it all together then, to summarize the overall picture, the data clearly supports this idea that the digital workplace transformation service market, well, it's going to remain on this growth supercycle for quite some time, well into the next decade.
That seems undeniable based on these projections.
And we're talking about a market nearing $250 billion by 2033. It's truly a massive scale of transformation happening everywhere.
And what's fascinating here, I think, is that understanding these numbers, understanding these underlying trends, it's absolutely key. Key to planning the future of work, whether you're, say, a tech strategist, a consultant, or an enterprise leader making decisions.
Or even just an individual planning your career.
Exactly. This knowledge isn't just interesting trivia. It's becoming essential for navigating tomorrow's professional landscape, for staying ahead of the curve.
Absolutely. Which brings us to a final thought for you, our listener. Given this unprecedented global digital shift we've just discussed, what's one skill or perhaps one technology you believe will become indispensable in your own professional journey over the next decade? Something to mull over. Okay, so let's dive in. Our work lives, I mean, they've totally changed, right? Almost overnight, it feels like. And there's just so much to learn about, how we got here and frankly, where we're heading. So today we're doing a deep dive into the digital workplace transformation service market. Our mission really is to cut through all the noise, all the buzzwords, and get you the essential nuggets. What's driving this huge shift? What are the hurdles? And critically, where is it going next? By the end of this, you should have a really clear, concise handle on this whole complex topic. Basically, a shortcut to being genuinely well-informed.
Yeah, and what's really fascinating, I think, is just how deep this change goes, how pervasive it is. It's really not just about, installing some new software. It's a fundamental rethink about people, about culture, and, well, the very way we work together. What used to be maybe a nice to have is now absolutely essential. And the speed of that change has just been kind of extraordinary.
Absolutely, it really has. So let's talk about those powerful forces. What's driving this revolution in how we work? What's the biggest catalyst, the one thing that really kicked all this off?
Oh, without a doubt, it's the huge acceleration of remote and hybrid work. The pandemic wasn't just a small push. It was more like a catapult, wasn't it? And what people sometimes forget is that companies might have had these digital tools on a 5, maybe 10-year roadmap. Suddenly they had to roll them out in like 5 to 10 weeks. And that super fast deployment, sometimes pretty chaotic, it exposed massive gaps in their old systems. It showed that this digital transformation wasn't just about being more efficient, it was about basic survival, resilience. It forced investments on a scale almost nobody saw coming. It felt less like keeping the lights on and more like, I don't know, rebuilding the whole power grid while everyone was still using it.
Yeah, it definitely felt like a mad scramble for a lot of companies. But okay, beyond that initial crisis mode, it feels like another big force has emerged, more from inside the organization. This intense focus now on employee productivity, but also their experience. Why should you, listening now, care about that as a major market driver?
Well, okay, beyond the obvious happy employees are productive idea, what's really key now is the link is becoming measurable, quantifiable. Businesses are seeing that when they improve digital fluency, when they cut down on that app fatigue, jumping between 10 tools for one task,
Mm-hmm.
it directly impacts retention. It reduces burnout, and that saves real money, big money. So companies are actively looking for tools that genuinely help with professional growth, even mental wellness, and definitely seamless team collaboration. It's just not a nice to have anymore. It's strategic. It has hard ROI attached.
That makes total sense. So, remote work forced the issue, employee experience sort of refined the goals. What's the tech engine making it all actually possible? What's the third big driver here?
Oh, that has to be the incredible pace of advancement in cloud and collaboration tech.
Yeah.
I mean, just think about how common, how capable tools like Microsoft 365, Google Workspace, Slack, Zoom, how central they are now. They're not just little add-ons. They're core to how business gets done every single day. And what's changed is they're more mature now, they scale better, and honestly, they're way more affordable than they used to be. That makes this whole digital transformation thing accessible even for smaller organizations, not just the giants. And then you layer in things like advanced analytics and AI. Well, now you're talking about predictive insights, automated workflows, making smarter decisions faster, things that just weren't really feasible a decade back.
Okay, so we've got these huge drivers pushing everything forward, massive momentum. But like you said, no big transformation happens without hitting some bumps in the road, right? What are the biggest hurdles? What are companies struggling with?
Oh, absolutely. Roadblocks are definitely there. One of the biggest, especially if you're looking at, say, small to medium businesses, SMEs, it's the sheer cost of getting started. The initial implementation costs can be quite daunting. It's not just buying the software licenses. You've got potential infrastructure upgrades. You need to train everybody. Then there's integrating it with your existing systems. These aren't small things. They add up to serious upfront investment. And for smaller companies working on tighter margins, that can really slow things down. Or, honestly, sometimes stop the project completely.
Right, that initial outlay is tough. And then there's always the human side of things, resistance to change. That can be the trickiest barrier, can it? It's not just about the tech.
Exactly. So many companies underestimate the cultural shift that's needed. I've seen it happen. They roll out amazing new tools, spend a fortune,
Yeah.
and 6 months later, everyone's kind of flipped back into their old spreadsheets and email chains because it's familiar. It's like buying a fancy new car, but still trying to drive it like your old clunker. Old habits are hard to break.
Right.
So without really solid change management, focusing on why this is happening, communicating constantly, supporting users, even the best tech can just fizzle out. Organizational inertia, that tendency to stick with what you know, it's a really powerful force. People often prefer the discomfort they know over the potential discomfort of something new.
The devil you know problem. Okay, and the final big restraint, one that seems to touch everyone. Security. Data privacy concerns. As everything gets more connected, the risks just seem to multiply. They absolutely do. It's a huge concern. You've got more people accessing systems remotely, more data stored in the cloud. The whole attack surface just gets bigger and more fragmented. So the risk of cyber attacks, unfortunately, it just goes up. And companies aren't just fighting off threats. They also have to navigate this complex web of data protection rules, GDPR, CCPA, you name it. They're getting stricter all the time. Plus, you need strong security protocols that actually protect the data without making the tools impossible or frustrating to use.
Yeah.
It's this constant tightrope walk, isn't it? Balancing usability with security, trying to scale up operations while staying fully compliant everywhere. It's a major challenge.
Definitely a balancing act. Okay, so bearing all that in mind, the drivers, the challenges, where are things headed? What key trends are really shaping the future of the digital workplace right now? What should we be watching? Well, one trend that's really standing out is the much deeper integration of AI and automation. AI is moving beyond just automating simple, repetitive tasks. It's becoming more like an intelligent orchestrator of workflows. We're seeing things like virtual assistants that actually proactively manage your calendar or flag potential issues, predictive analytics spotting bottlenecks before they jam everything up, intelligent chatbots handling common IT problems instantly. It's all geared towards making better decisions faster and making the employee experience feel more, personalized and intuitive. using data to work smarter.
Right, making things smoother. And kind of related to that, it feels like we're finally seeing the rise of truly unified communication platforms, moving away from that feeling of juggling 10 different apps just to talk to someone or share a document.
That's a great way to put it. Yeah, businesses are really embracing what they call UKS, Unified Communications as a Service. These platforms basically pull everything together. Messaging, video calls, file sharing, even traditional phone calls, all into one kind of seamless interface.
Hmm.
They're becoming absolutely central to making hybrid work actually work efficiently. It lets teams stay connected, stay productive no matter where they are, and it cuts down massively on that friction, that context switching between apps we talked about earlier. The goal is really that single pane of glass for all your communication and collaboration needs.
Makes sense. And the last big shift, one that really impacts your day-to-day work life, listening right now, this
Yeah.
idea of employee-centric design and experience, how's that actually changing the tools we use?
Well, it means that the solutions aren't just designed from the top down purely for corporate efficiency anymore. That one-size-fits-all approach is fading. The focus has really shifted, profoundly shifted, toward creating tools that are intuitive, that feel personalized, and are genuinely user-friendly. And critically, they're starting to prioritize employee well-being. Things like mental health support, providing self-service options so you're not always waiting on IT, and making continuous learning easier. So you see things like wellness apps integrated right into the main work platform, or personalized dashboards that pull your relevant info together, or learning tools that adapt to what skills you actually need to develop. It's really a move away from tools dictating how you must work, towards tools that genuinely support and enhance your individual way of working.
Okay, so pulling all these threads together, this digital workplace transformation service market, it really isn't just about the tech itself, is it? It's much deeper. It's about people, culture, how we connect, how we collaborate.
Precisely. That's the core of it. You've got the push from remote and hybrid work necessities, the pull from focusing more on the employee experience, and it's all enabled by this constant wave of tech innovation. Put that together, and yeah, this market is clearly set for some pretty exponential growth. As companies keep rethinking what work even means in the future, these digital workplace solutions are absolutely going to be leading that charge.
So here's something maybe for you to think about, given how fast all this is changing. Beyond just the tools we use, how might your ideal future workplace evolve? How could it truly boost your well-being, your sense of connection, something to mull over? We really hope this deep dive has given you that shortcut to being well-informed and maybe even sparked a bit more of your own curiosity. Keep digging.